In a tragic turn of events, a woman who lost her life to the devastating floods unleashed by Storm Babet has been identified. Her name is a poignant reminder of the human toll these natural disasters can take. As the floodwaters raged on, her son faced an agonizing ordeal, searching for his beloved mother amidst the deluge. His heart-wrenching discovery serves as a testament to the immense challenges and heartbreaking losses that such calamities can bring. Join us as we delve into the story of this woman and the resilience her son displayed in the face of an unimaginable tragedy. A woman who died in floods caused by Storm Babet has been named, as her son described finding her body floating in the water. Maureen Gilbert, 83, was found dead in her home on Saturday morning in Chesterfield. Her son Paul Gilbert told his mother lived downstairs because she was disabled, and he had spent hours putting up flood defenses in the hope they would protect her. But she rang him on Friday afternoon and said there was water coming in the house. In a harrowing and heartbreaking account of the devastating impact of a natural disaster, Mr. Gilbert recounted the traumatic experience he endured as he raced against time and nature's fury. It was an ordinary day in his peaceful neighborhood, until the relentless downpour of rain unleashed havoc beyond imagination. The rainwater had surged to alarming levels, swallowing everything in their path. With an air of urgency, Mr. Gilbert embarked on a treacherous journey, one that would eventually lead him to his family's property. The journey to his family's home, which under normal circumstances would have been a brief trip, turned into a grueling 7-hour ordeal. The relentless rain, the swollen rivers, and the rapidly rising floodwaters turned the familiar landscape into an unrecognizable and perilous terrain. Mr. Gilbert's determination to reach the property was fueled by the hope that his mother, who had been at home when the disaster struck, was safe. But as he arrived at his destination, he was confronted with a grim reality: the waters had surged beyond control, submerging the property. It was already flooded way too much, Mr. Gilbert recalled as he beheld the scene before him. The water had risen to alarming levels, nearly reaching his eyes, and panic began to grip his heart. In that moment, he clung to the hope that his mother had managed to find safety, perhaps retreating to higher ground within the house. "I was hoping she got upstairs and everything was all right," he shared, with a quiver in his voice, "and that we'd see her the next morning." The severity of the flooding meant that even the most dedicated and courageous of emergency services were unable to access the submerged property. The overwhelming volume of water had rendered the property inaccessible, leaving the family in a nightmarish state of uncertainty. Plans were made to return the following morning when, hopefully, the water levels would recede. However, Mr. Gilbert's agony was far from over. Unable to bear the weight of not knowing his mother's fate, he took it upon himself to revisit the perilous location. The clock read 9:30 a.m. on a gloomy Saturday when he returned to the submerged property. Armed with a mixture of fear, hope, and sheer determination, he approached the building that had been a home, now almost unrecognizable in the sea of muddy floodwaters. "I came to the window, forced it open," Mr. Gilbert recounted, reliving the moment that would haunt his nightmares for years to come. As he peered into the water-filled room, the reality of the situation crashed down upon him with cruel force. There, amidst the murky waters, he found his mother's lifeless form, peacefully floating. The flood had claimed a life so dear, leaving behind a trail of sorrow and heartbreak that words could scarcely encapsulate. In times of natural disaster, we witness not only the unforgiving power of the elements, but also the indomitable spirit of individuals who brave adversity to protect those they love. Mr. Gilbert's journey, both physical and emotional, stands as a poignant reminder of the strength and resilience that humans summon in the face of unimaginable tragedy. His actions, fueled by the hope of reuniting with his mother, reflect the enduring bonds of love and family that persist even in the darkest hours. The impact of such disasters extends beyond the immediate loss of life and property. They leave scars on the survivors, testifying to the fragility of human existence and the need for communities and nations to come together in support and solidarity during times of crisis. As Mr. Gilbert faced the loss of his beloved mother, he also faced the immense task of rebuilding not only his life, but the lives of his family and neighbors in a community forever altered by the forces of nature. In the wake of this tragedy, we must reflect on the importance of disaster preparedness, timely response, and community resilience. The experiences of individuals like Mr. Gilbert serve as a stark reminder that we live in a world where the unpredictability of nature can bring forth both beauty and devastation. It is our shared responsibility to mitigate the impact of such disasters and provide unwavering support to those affected. Mr. Gilbert said he was very angry, adding, "I don't think there's enough being done with flood defenses. People get forgotten down here, nobody got it as bad as we did in 2007 and now this year." Chesterfield was badly affected by severe flooding across parts of the UK 16 years ago. The Mid-July period in 2007 was the wettest since records began, causing billions of pounds in damage. Mr. Gilbert said people on his mother's street did as much as they could to prepare for Storm Babet, which is estimated to have flooded more than 1,200 homes across England. "I thought if the flood defense worked, she was safe," he added. "For me to have to come and find her myself was upsetting. I can't put it into words what it means at the moment." A police spokesman said, investigations are continuing into the cause and circumstances surrounding her death, but it is believed it is related to the flooding scene in the Chesterfield area. Derbyshire Fire and Rescue Service said floodwaters in the north of the county have mostly reduced, but warned people to be aware of the debris left behind. "We are being very vigilant around that and we are moving a lot of resources to the south of the county should any incidents happen there," Area Manager Clive Stanbrook added. 3 other people have died since the storm hit the UK on Wednesday, while a search continues in Aberdeenshire after a report of a man trapped in a vehicle in floodwater. The Environment Agency has warned major rivers in affected areas, including Nottinghamshire, could be flooded until Tuesday, while train services in parts of Scotland, Yorkshire, and East Anglia remain disrupted. In the face of nature's relentless fury, the story of the woman tragically lost to Storm Babet is a stark reminder of the destructive power of flooding and the profound impact it can have on the lives of those it leaves behind. As we reflect on her story and the countless others affected by this disaster, let us unite in a commitment to preparedness, support, and resilience. In honoring her memory, we honor the resilience of those who endure. Please consider liking and subscribing for more stories that shed light on the strength of the human spirit, even in the darkest of times.